So I figured I'd go ahead and give you guys a recap of this week. Again, similar to what I put up last week, what I send to Bryce each week, but I'll give you guys a little bit different kind of insight and talk about some things that I probably didn't talk about with him only because he's already heard it, or it's just basic insight that's not going to really help him in his coaching programming services. So what you're watching here are the top sets from each training workout. For the most part, you're going to see squats, bench, and deadlift, and I literally think that's all that I really recorded. This particular set that you're watching right now was from my first training day, and you'll probably notice those blue suede shoes. I did a video on the first impressions I had of them. Again, they're the Position weightlifting shoes. They're a 1-inch heel. This is honestly the only time I'll wear them until after my competition, just because I'm not used to training in a higher heel, and I don't really want to be introducing too many variables into my training routine this close to competition. Not to mention that I had a problem with them sliding, as you can kind of see here on the floor. Really had trouble with them with the bench. Now, as far as squats go, I didn't have any issues with them sliding, but on bench, I definitely noticed it. And I've been trying to really actively push more with my legs, do more leg drive as I'm benching, and I'm trying to push myself backwards towards that wall, and those shoes just weren't really helping in this case on this particular day. All right, so the next day I had more squats, this time of the safety bar variety, and even though I thought about bumping up the weights in a faster progression than I have in the past, decided to keep it at the normal rate here only because I knew I had some big deadlift and squat sessions coming up in the next couple of days, so I wanted to make sure I was as fresh as possible for that. Followed that up with some banded bench press, and bench has been going okay, considering again that my shoulder's really been giving me issues for a good part of this year, and I had to take close to 2 months off already this year from benching completely. It's a really slow progression, but it is a progression, so I'm hoping that, within another couple of months, my bench can get back to where it previously was. So after a day off, came back to hit some deadlifts, and as I posted earlier this week, I got a Rogue Ohio Power Bar 20 kilogram version. This thing was very stiff, and even though I felt really bad during this training session of these top 2 sets of 2 with 540 pounds on deadlifts, the more I'm removed for the session and the more I see these clips, the better I think they went overall. So it's always interesting as during the session you feel that they're slow, they're gross, they're grindy, and then you come back to look at them, and even though they are fairly slow, they're pretty smooth, especially considering the fact that I then did 3 or 4 sets after this with back off sets of over 500. Pretty happy with that. Again, getting to bench after, not so happy with it. I'm thinking for the competition, if I can hit 300, that'll probably be what my goal will be, which is far below what I've been able to do before, but I do understand that it's a process and it's going to take me some time to get back to where I used to be. So that was definitely an ass kicker of a workout, which made the next day all that much more difficult to look forward to because I also had to hit a heavy double on squats, and I decided to go with 240 kilos or 529 pounds. And again, in the beginning of the week, I thought I could really push the numbers here a little bit more, but after the training week at hand, I think 240 was the right call as I aimed to hit an RPE 8.5, and these doubles moved pretty good, so I'm definitely happy with that overall. And even after following that, some back off sets, we did bench one last time. Top set was 132.5 kilos or 292 pounds, and although that second rep moved pretty slow, again, it's some progress for me. Again, it's heavier than I've been able to do in the past, and again, setting my expectations at around a 300 bench for competition is probably in line with how this set went. And after this, I thought I was done for the week. I sent my update to Bryce, but I realized he had thrown in a 5th day, which mostly consisted of volume deadlift work. So what did I do? I made a bad 80s training montage.